You have seen that surveyors often need to calculate right angles while surveying, such as when running check lines or when taking offsets. As this calculation requires precise measurements, it is essential that you use standard instruments on the field so that you are able to obtain accuracy in your surveying work. In this module, we will look at two kinds of such instruments. They are the cross staff and the optical square. Let us learn more about them. After completing this module, you will be able to identify the instruments required for right angles and use the instruments. The cross staff is an instrument that helps in the calculation of right angles by sighting. Let us see how this is carried out. The cross staff is a thin pole with a pointed end so that it can easily be set into the ground. On its top, there is a square block of wood. There is a pair of grooves on the block, so the staff is called a block cross staff. As you can see, each groove lies in the center of one edge of the block, extending a little along its top and down its side. Also, the grooves of one pair lie squarely across the position of the other. To calculate right angles with the cross staff, set it exactly at the point on the survey line from which the right angle has to be calculated, with one of the grooves pointing to the ranging rod at the end of the survey line. When sighting the rods, note that you should be able to see the center of the rod when sighting it through the grooves. Also, you should be able to see the surface of the cross staff's block and the ranging rod, but nothing else between them. In the correct position, the grooves should be pointing straight to the center of the rod. Through the other groove, sight the other ranging rod, which must be held by another surveyor. Use ranging signals so that you can have it set exactly in the line of sight through the other groove. As the grooves of the block cross staff lie at right angles to each other, we can say that the ranging rods sighted through each of these grooves also lie at right angles to each other. So, remember, you can calculate right angles with the cross staff by sighting an object through one pair of grooves and sighting another object through the other pair of grooves. We have just had a look at the block cross staff. The other types of cross staffs are open cross staff, French cross staff, and adjustable cross staff. Let us take a look at each one of them. The open cross staff is a rod mounted with a pair of arms that intersect each other squarely. The ends of each arm are fitted with a piece of metal or wood. This piece is called the sighting vane. Each vane has a vertical slit containing a fine length of wire. An object can be sighted by peering through the vanes of an arm. The French cross staff is a tube made of brass. The tube has 8 equal sides. Each of the 8 sides is actually a sighting vane. The advantage of the French cross staff is that while right angles can be calculated by carrying out both the sightings through the vanes lying directly opposite each other, angles of 45 degrees can also be calculated when the second sighting is carried out through the vane adjacent to that of the first. The adjustable cross staff is a rod mounted with 2 cylinders which are placed one above the other. Both the cylinders have slits for viewing. The upper cylinder has a vernier, while the lower one has a graduated scale showing degrees and subdivisions to calculate angles. So, remember, the 3 types of cross staffs are open cross staff, French cross staff, and the adjustable cross staff. The optical square is a device that helps us calculate or mark or sight angles with the help of the reflected image of an object. The surveyor is able to calculate right angles with the optical square by sighting a ranging rod through a sighting glass and identifying the line forming the right angle based on a reflection above the glass. So, remember, the optical square is an optical device that uses reflection to calculate the right angle. In this module, you have learnt how to identify the instruments required for right angles and how to use those instruments. One of those instruments is the cross staff, which consists of a pole mounted with an arrangement of slits called sighting vanes. To calculate right angles with the cross staff, you should sight the ranging rod on the survey line with one pair of vanes and then sight another object with another pair of vanes. The different types of cross staff are open cross staff, French cross staff, and adjustable cross staff. The other instrument is the optical square, which uses reflection to calculate the right angle.